Hello everyone, it's Valerie from Stampin' with Valerie, and today we are going to do a couple of fun things with adhesive sheets. Now, the ones I have are from Stampin' Up, but I know you can also buy them, and I'm grabbing them over here. I have some ones from Sizzix, and these are in a size 6 by 12. So what I want to do today is I want to play with some vellum paper and some window sheets, and you can see on here where I've put vellum paper on this one and window sheets on this one, both using the adhesive sheets. Now, what I have found is the easiest way to align is by using my Stamparatus, just because it has these sides and I can slide everything in like this and make it all fit, and I'll show you that in just a minute when we get to this. But just if you have something that has a nice square in it where you can slide your sheets into, that is the easiest way to line it up, if you ask me. That's my opinion. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take out one of these adhesive sheets, and like I said, they're 6 by 12, but I'm going to cut it in half because I just want to use, oh no, actually I'm not going to cut it in half. I'm going to cut it 6 by 8. I'm going to need 2 sheets. So let me grab another one because I want to do some of this fun paper from Heidi Swap, and I'm going to show you that in just a minute after I cut my adhesive sheets. I'm just going to use my Stampin' Up! Trimmer for this. Now, I have found that it does not make my blade gummy, but if you have that problem, use a different blade or something. So let's go ahead, whoops, and open this up. Move some of my other stuff over here so that can lay flat. There we go. All right. I know this is 6 inches here, so we want to go 8. So we got 8 right there. Let's slice that up, and then I've got this other piece that I can save for something else. And I'm going to do the same with this other sheet, so we have one of each. Or 2 of them, I guess I should say, not one of each. It's the exact same thing. And then we're going to use some of this fantastic paper that I got from Heidi Swap. And this is called the Carefree paper, and you can see all the little designs on here. They're fantastic. I love them all. I wish it came, it might come in 12 by 12, but I only found it in the 6 by 8 pad. So I want to use this one here because it's got lots of bright colors in it. And then for some reason, I'm really drawn to this cactus print. So I want to use that one as well. Let me just set this pad aside, get it out of my way. So first I'm going to start with this sheet here. So I'm going to set this other one aside. And of course, the top of this is not part of that 8 inches. So this is only going to cover part of this. And then that piece will just get cut off later. The first thing I want to do is slide my paper in here. And I'm going to put it in on this end because I want this end to all be covered. I don't want this piece that I'm cutting off getting covered with this sticky paper. We want to put it, oh, I don't want that yet. Oh my gosh, I'm getting way ahead of myself. I'm going to be sticking stuff on there without anything being on there. I want my vellum first. I need my vellum. I'm putting vellum over that piece. So I need to cut a piece of 6 by 8 vellum. Oh my gosh. I am just totally off the charts today, everyone. All right. So the vellum that I have is also from Stampin' Up. It comes in 8.5 by 11 sheets. And so I'm going to cut that down to 8 inches. I just got a little piece left over. And then we're going to cut this 6 inches wide here. So we have a nice, perfect piece of vellum to go over our adhesive sheet. Now, the fun thing about this is they actually sell vellum sticker paper. But this is basically what it is. It's vellum with adhesive on the back of it. So we are basically right now making vellum sticker paper. Now on these Stampin' Up! Sheets, you got 3 pieces that will come, you know, come down. These are 2 inches wide. But we only want to start with one of them just because we want to make sure we get everything stuck down good. So I'm going to start with this one. Oh, that little piece ripped a little bit. That's all right. I got it. And instead of laying this piece down first, because look how that curls up, you want to lay your vellum down first. So lay your vellum down first. Then flip this over and get your, line it up. See how it lines up in the corner, and then this will line up exactly with the edge of that paper. And then get that out of your way. And you're just going to flip this up and go ahead and peel the next piece. Now, maybe I should have done that all at once. I'm not sure. Oh no, it looks okay now. I thought some of the adhesive came up wrong, but it's fine. Then we'll peel this corner one off. The corner one's the hardest. So I'm just going to take my pick tool out to get in between those 2 pieces. Otherwise, I'm going to sit there forever trying to pick it apart. Once you get it stuck together, the fantastic thing is just use your bone folder and really, really stick it down. Now, like right now, it looks yellowy, but that's only because we still have the backing on this. So you can see your vellum is obviously more opaque white. But when it's stuck to that backing, it looks kind of yellowy. But that'll be fixed in just a second, like I said, once we peel that backing off. Okay, now we want to start with our paper. So let's stick our paper in there. I'm going to turn it this way so you can see the beautiful designs that are on it. It's a nice, beautiful, beachy collage. And now we're going to want to peel this apart and get this backing off from the vellum. So I'm going to use that same, just right on the very corner. I'm going to peel those apart because now all of that adhesive is stuck to your vellum. So we just made vellum sticker paper. Isn't that fantastic? And now I do see, because of the way I peeled it, I got I do have a spot in the center there where I don't know if there's any adhesive right there. And I'm not sure if that will show up on the paper or not. We'll see once we get it all. And I told you to line this up, and I just stuck it down before I wanted to right here. So this little edge is going to have to be trimmed off. Now, of course, you know, when you use that vellum paper, it makes everything, it gives it that opaque look. Go over it really, really good with your bone folder to get it stuck down. And yeah, it did make a little bit right there in the center where there's no adhesive. I'm going to pull that up to the camera, you can see. So I think next time I'll peel all 3 of those pieces off first before I go to stick it on, because I don't have any adhesive right there, and you can tell. Okay, now it's never going to be completely clear with this because obviously, like I said, that's vellum. It's going to be a little bit different. You can see I went off the edge a little bit. I didn't quite get, I moved a little too fast lining it up, and that's okay. Just trim those little edges off. You can use a pair of scissors. I have a pair of scissors here that I use just for sticky things, and I know that because I have the little white trim on there, so I know these are just for sticky. So you can just take those little edges off, and then with your paper trimmer you can trim off anything else that you want to trim off. I haven't tried using a punch on it yet, so I don't know if you could punch it after you've put the vellum on there. I don't know if that would be too thick or not, but let's give it a try. We'll just use this small punch, this 1/2-inch punch, and we'll just take a little corner out, maybe up here, just to see if it punches. And it does. So that would be awesome. You could make, put your sticker paper on something, and if there's something you want to punch out, you can just punch that out with that awesome vellum sticker paper that we just made. I mean, it's not sticky anymore on the back because we stuck the vellum sticker paper to the top, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, I think that's just a fun thing to make. And if you've already got the sticker sheets and you have the vellum, you might as well make it instead of buying it, because it's not hard to make, obviously. The next one I want to do, thing I want to play with, is window sheets, because I was really curious how well window sheets would stick to the adhesive sheets, and they actually stick quite well. And obviously you see these are super duper. They're not really super thick, but they're thicker than regular paper. And when you try to cut them with this type of cutter, it kind of curls the edge a little bit. So I'm not going to use that cutter for this. I'm going to get out a larger cutter. This is one that Stampin' Up! Sold years ago. It's a guillotine cutter. So if you have a guillotine cutter, that's perfect. We're going to, again, make a 6x8 piece. So let's start with the 6-inch piece, or the 6-inch measurement. And then I'm going to put this immediately back in here, because this can get scratched easily, and you don't want to scratch it before you use it. That's why they have layers of, oh my gosh, I can't even get it in there. Layers of tissue paper in between these, so they don't scratch each other and they're easier to get apart. And if you can get the static out of it, you can get it back in the package. All right, so we've got 6 inches. Let's cut an 8-inch this way. And so now we've got a 6x8 piece. And I have another small piece here that just needs to go back in that packaging. And it was much easier doing it that way on my lap than it was trying to show you all. Okay, so I'm going to set my vellum piece aside. We've got our window sheet, we've got our sticker sheet, and I want to go over this. What I like about using the window sheet on this is I think it would be amazing to use on an album, like a junk journal album for a cover or something, because then we're going to have this nice clear overlay on it, and it's going to be a little bit thicker. All right, so this time, like I said, put your paper first, but this time I'm going to make sure I get all of these off first. And see, that one ripped a little bit too. I don't know why. It's just the way it's sticking. So let's try a piece of the Sizzix. Let's see how the Sizzix peels, because that one is just not peeling right. And we want this to be nice and clear when it's on there and not have any pockets in it. So let's cut a piece from the Sizzix adhesive sheet if I can get it out of the package. Now, I did use a smaller piece of that earlier for this cover that Stampin' Up! But I only had to peel one little sheet because that was just a 2-inch wide piece. Let me move that out of the way so we don't get that in the way. And this is already, again, 6 inches wide, so we're going to make it 8 inches like we just did the other one. And this piece is perfect because I can just cut that little scrap piece off the bottom there. And then it looks like this just has one to peel, so this might work much better for this project. And it's already got, and it's got a thing here, it says peel here, so you know right where to peel. But look at that adhesive. It's that adhesive is still sticking to the backing, but we're gonna still give it a shot anyway. We're gonna do what we can here. Let's peel it from this end down. And then there we go, that's better. So now I've got a little bit here on the end, but I'm gonna put that at the top so I can cut that off a little bit if I need to. Actually, yeah. I guess this edge, because of where you peel it, doesn't have, so it's gonna go at this end and it'll be all right. I'm gonna line this up here on the bottom first, which is what I did not do last time and I messed it up. And then get that on there. And I just did that totally backwards, everybody. Oh my gosh, today is not my day. But let's see what happens when we peel this off. Okay, there we go. Well, let's get it on there with this first really good. What I wanted to do is lay my window sheet down first and put it on the window sheet. Holy moly. But that's what's great about crafting. No mistakes, let's just fix it. All right, so we've got all that adhesive now stuck to that cardstock really well. Just peeling it off really slow. And then we'll put it back inside this. And then we'll stick our window sheet on. So I just learned something. I can do it completely backwards from the way I originally planned, and it's still gonna be fantastic. Now, if you get any little dust specks on this, you want to get those off first before you stick it on there. Line it up as best you can. Oh, and that worked perfect. Again, like I said, backwards from the way I originally planned to do it, but it still worked great. So now I can use that either just in an album, punch holes and use it, or you could use it on the front of a card or anything that you want to use it on. I don't know, again, I don't think the punches through the window sheets very well. And I don't want to try that on this one just because I want to use this for a project. Maybe in my next video we'll use it for a project. But this is what it looks like when you make your own sticker paper with window sheets and vellum paper. And again, you make a mistake, just go with it. Move on. It's going to be okay. It's not a huge deal. Okay, so one more thing I want to show you with the vellum paper that I did earlier that I thought was kind of fun is I stamped on it, because you know you can stamp on vellum, but you also, it takes a while to dry, so I always use my heat tool to dry it. But it's kind of fun because I'm going to put this little pineapple on here. There's already a pineapple up here and one here, but we're going to just stamp one on here just so you can see. I used the Timeless Tropical stamp set from Stampin' Up, and I used this Fossilized Amber is the color of this ink here. Now this is not a Stampin' Up ink. This is a Tim Holtz ink, Distress Oxide or Ranger ink, whichever you want to call it. And then I'm going to use a Stampin' Up marker to stamp just the top, the leaves on the pineapple, or not stamp them, but color them in. And then I'm just going to stamp it on the bottom here. And now, like I said, it takes a while to dry, but what I thought was really fun about this, and you'll see it in just a second when I dry it. Let me turn this on. I'm going to turn it on low to start, let it heat up a little bit, and then I'll turn it on high to get it to, I guess it's already on high, to let it get it dry, really dry. But what I noticed is that the Stampin' Up ink from the Stampin' Right marker dries faster than the Distress Oxide ink. But when you dry the Distress Oxide ink, it almost looks like there's a texture to it. It does not feel like there's a texture to it, but it looks like there's a texture to it. And I think it's almost dry, so let's turn this off. And you don't want to touch it right away because obviously it's very hot, but I did earlier just to see if that felt sticky or anything, and it is kind of sticky, that Distress Oxide ink, but now the top is not sticky at all because, like I said, that's the Stampin' Right marker. Let's give it a second to cool, and then I'm going to pull it up just a little bit, and I need to stand up so I can hopefully show you this, where it kind of looks like there's a texture to it. I don't know if you can see that in the camera or not, but then when you touch it, it's flat. There's no texture, but it gives it the illusion of a texture, which I thought was kind of neat. I had never tried that with the Distress Oxide ink, and I thought that was just a fun little thing to tell you. So I hope you enjoyed today's little presentation, on the flubs and all, because, you know, that's who I am. Things happen, and you just go back and you fix them. Now, this is a little bit curvy, so let's take that heat gun and heat this side of it to flatten it out. I don't know if you've ever done that, but just go back over it from the other side with the heat gun, and it will flatten your cardstock or paper back down. Now, I didn't go enough on the bottom, but once you use adhesive on that and stick it to something, it will be fine. But I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you make your own vellum sticky or sticker paper, whatever you want to call it, and window sheet sticky paper. And I will see you next time. Bye.